The creation of purebred animals or crossing breeds to achieve a better animal. The male is more important than the mare in a herd because it has many offspring during its life, but female and male are important because they transmit characteristics to the breeding. Their producers are fixed in many characteristics before buying a male or a female as they are. The arrogance, that is the ability to transmit the same characteristics to the young, the racial crossing, that is the crossing of animals of the same race without being relatives to the each other for less than 6 generations. Crosses it for mestization, where the purebred stallion has good of pricing with crossbred mares, the normal crossing where it crosses two different pure breeds to improve the constitution of these animals or the pleasure. The reproduction of the mares occurs in herds of 30 to 40 females that are served with a single stallion, and if the climate and fur are adequate, a calving rate of up to 90% can be given. In addition, well-kept mares can give pups until 16, and there have been cases up to 30 years. The producers of village take great care of high genetic mares that are very fertile, with good facilities and excellent food rations for the good profits obtained with them. In the video, Dr. Chris Blevins will speak at the Veterinary Health Center of Kansas State University, accompanied today by Dr. Rayson Grady. He is an assistant clinical professor here at King Reproduction and Field Service in Kansas State.
Thank you, Dr. Blevins.
One thing that I think a lot of owners they need to know about, and one is reproduction of their mare, and more specifically when they're pregnant and when they need to be looking at their mare or checking the mare, or how early could they check the mare to see if she's pregnant, and what would be the earliest, I guess, that they could check?
Sure. I think pregnancy in the mare is an exciting time. We've spent the year maybe planning to see who we're going to breed to, go through the process of breeding the mare, and then we have 11 months of anticipation potentially to hopefully have a healthy live foal.
Yeah.
And so as far as checking the mare, the early stages of pregnancy seem to be the most critical time frame where we're looking at. Maybe in the first 30 days, we've seen that up to 10 to 15% of pregnancies are lost during that time frame, and majority of pregnancies that are lost are usually lost in the first trimester or the first 90 days. And so it's recommended that we check the mare sometime around 12 to 16 days after the mare is ovulated or after her last exposure to the stallion.
Okay.
And this allows us to, one, check to make sure that the mare is pregnant. And if she's not, then we can plan for her next heat cycle. And
the mare is walked into AI stocks. Her tail is wrapped and tied to keep it out of the way. The perineal region is washed gently with copious amounts of warm water using a clean hand, dirty hand technique. The area is then dried. A non-sterile shoulder-length glove is then inverted in order to provide an aseptic surface. Care is taken to prevent the glove coming into contact with any contaminants that could cause irritation or infection of the endometrium. The syringe containing semen is attached to the catheter, which is then withdrawn from the packaging carefully. 5 milliliters of air are drawn into the syringe, and the semen is then pushed to the end of the catheter. Non-spermicidal lubricant is liberally applied to the back of the gloved hand and forearm. The gloved hand and catheter are passed gradually into the vagina and over the pelvic brim. The cervix is then identified. Using the index finger, the catheter is then guided through the cervix and into the uterus, where the semen is then infused into the uterine body. The air in the syringe ensures the evacuation of all semen from the catheter. The catheter and gloved hand are gently withdrawn, and the AI procedure is complete.
Natural reproduction. There are two modalities. The natural mounting in freedom that occurs when the horse and mare are alone in the open field, and the directed one, although the horse mounts the mare. It is the man who decides the moment to do it. We must remember that there are races in which only complete natural mountains as a reproductive model. Embryo transplant. This technique is used in a special case such as mare of great genetic value from which you want to get more than one foal per year. Also in case of mares with problems in the endometrium that do not get pregnant. A third case of using this technique will be how much the mare is intent to follow her sporting career and at the same time we want her child. This method could also be used to recover endangered species. To obtain an embryo transplant, the following steps must be followed. First, you have to inseminate the mare. Second, after about 6 to 7 days, the uterus is washed to remove the embryo with the help of special filters and with a magnified glass to embryo is located. Finally, it is transplanted to another mare that has to be synchronized with the donor. The recipient must have ovulated the same days as the donor.